What up, everybody? Happy Gay Pride Month. Woo-hoo! Let's get the party started. It's Gay Pride Month. How can you not have pride? It's going to be great. It's going to be great this month. I'm already seeing it everywhere. It's fantastic. Every football team has a Gay Pride theme. Major League Baseball, apparently, they're going to have their Gay Pride logo for the whole month, I think. Who knows? It's great. It's great. And if you don't like that, then you are mean. You're mean. It's so stupid, man. Oh my goodness. We just want the right to marry. You duped. I was duped into it too. It's funny. It was inevitable it was gonna happen, but the best thing to do is you don't get angry, you just laugh. Mockery is always the best weapon against tyranny. And this is tyranny, 100%. I was reading a guy today on X. He goes, the Kansas City Chiefs are the only team that doesn't have a gay pride flag or something like that. I said, so it's not about choice. It's about you have to capitulate or else you're freaking being thrown out. I gotcha. And now I got I was listening to just really a couple minutes ago before I jumped on here. There's a Greek metal band, which I like, 1,000 Mods, and they have a gay pride flag out in one of their shows they played last night or tonight or something like that. I was like, if you don't show the flag, this is how it used to be in communist Russia, Saddam Hussein and whatnot. If you were the first person to stop clapping, they executed you. You know what I'm saying? They look around and say, hey, Saddam Hussein was given a 4-hour speech, and everyone's got to jump for joy and say, clap, clap, clap. And the first person who got stopped clapping, they'd put a bullet in your head. And this is where we're going. It's so stupid. I mean, obviously not there yet because I get to criticize. I mean, I imagine only a matter of time for YouTube says, how dare you? And the thing is, I actually get it. I actually get it in some way. I'm reading a book right now that was literally, they had it was a sexual deviancy scare of the late 40s and 50s. All right, sexual deviancy. And they went after hard against gays. Hard, they did. And it was ridiculous. What I'm saying, they went after these guys hard, man. And just anyone who's accused of this stuff it was not good. It was bad. I mean, I get it. I get the idea of people saying, hey, we've got beyond that. I get it. I just hate the freaking propaganda. I hate propaganda, and I hate stuff being forced down my throat. I hate it. I hate it with a passion. I hate just everyone piling on because all the cool kids are doing it. It's like, it's so obviously corporate, so obviously fake. I hate corporate fakery. I hate it with a passion. And yet the funny thing is, in the 50s, literally, it's like a false accusation on the commies. The commies would say, man, I think Josh has some propaganda that the KGB might want to look at. Next thing you know, the NKVD, that's what the previous KGB was called, or Stasi. You might want to look at what, and they're busting down your door, and you're like, I don't have anything. Well, you better tell us who has it. And you're like, I don't know what you're talking. Well, then you're going to gulag. It's crazy. It's just the thing is, I can't stand this. All the cool kids trying so hard to be victims. Like, I'm gay too. You're like, there's a song called let me think if I can't think of it right now. You were a mod in 77. You were gay in 78. You tried punk, and now you. Who was the band called Combat 84? Poser. Let me see if I can't find the lyrics here. Combat 84 Poser lyrics. Let's see if I can't find that. Poser lyrics. Combat 84. You was a punk in 77. You was a skin in 78. You tried mod, but you were too late. Changing all the time. Poser, standing there. You change your style every year. Once straight, but now a queer. You change your style every year. The whole thing just is so. Oh, Pear, they didn't make it right. It pissed me off, man. They did not make it right. Anyway, welcome aboard, everybody. They didn't make it right. It pissed me off. We called them. We said, hey, Vanguard, you got to fix this. You screwed up. And they were like, we didn't tell her what to do. We just gave her options, and she chose option A. I was like, but I said, okay, even if she chose wrong, we're telling you to fix it. I mean, we're still in the same calendar year, so we can't fix it. That's it. Yeah, I'm not. I mean, I get that. I think, there's a lot of emotional. There's a lot of emotional, like my man. I mean, if I can't share it with you, but I'm gonna show it. I'm gonna read it to you here. And see, this is pretty emotional. This is Kurt Schlichter who's talked about what the Israelis are doing in Rafah. He says, you're not doing it hard enough for someone. Yeah, not so right here. Heavy airstrikes in eastern Rafah, whatever you say today. And Kirk Schlichter, who's a right-winger guy, he says, not heavy enough. It's just like, dude, that's emotional, man. I don't like that. I don't like the emotional, like, because that's how innocent people get killed. And that's just a fact. We emotionally get, I get involved in that. I was, and after September 11th, I was like, we got to get him over there. I get it. Who am I? You know what I'm saying? All right. Vanguard didn't make right. Thanks for your answer. Makes me rethink of their advice service. Well, I mean, it's not, in fact, Vanguard never says we give advice. They don't. I mean, unless you, I don't know. They don't say that explicitly. So, I remember when I was on the call, when I worked at Vanguard, it was the late 90s, and I was on the call center thing. We had this big queue up there. Right? That's what it was. We explicitly say we can't give you advice. We can tell you about the funds, but we can't tell you what to do. I remember I had people get mad. I remember this one lady she wanted to talk to my supervisor. She goes, I just want to know what fund to invest in this municipal bond for the taxable bond fund. I gave her the tax equivalent yields. I talked about your tax. I talked about the whole thing. I said, I can't tell you what to do, lady. And she goes, I need some advice. My husband, I can't remember what it was, but I was like, I can't. That's not what we do here. And I'll never forget that. And she got really mad. I was like, and then I said, look, lady, you don't even know who I am. I mean, I literally just graduated college a year before that. I was 27 years old. Do you want to take advice from some unknown guy on the internet or on the internet on the phone? And she had to talk to my supervisor. It's crazy. Yeah, I agree with that. But I mean, Schwab has low fees. Oh, that's what I was going to say too. Getting back to Pear. I had a good friend of mine. She used to work for me at USA, and then she went over to Schwab as like the senior financial planner. And she said it's hit and miss. If you get the right guy, you're a good place, but some guys just aren't worth it. And she goes, it's completely hit or miss. There's some guys up here that freaking crush, and some guys just don't. And I'm saying guys all encompassing to the ladies. So, I don't think Bogle would have fixed it. I mean, this Bogle's not going to go down there, Ted, and fix it. I don't think so. I just think at the end of the day, Vanguard said, we did not choose. She chose. We can't make it right because we didn't make it wrong. That's what I basically think she said. Basically what they're saying. And my issue is, okay, even if she made it wrong, we're still within the same time frame. I mean, you can't change the paperwork. And they said, no. I said, I don't buy that. But what are you going to do, man? Let's see what we got here. All right. Warner Robbins, right on. Warner Robbins in the house. Falmouth, Maine in the house. A friend's home. Oh, Ted's got a friend. Hey, Ted's friend. What's up, Ted's friend? Is that a 57 Flavors friend, Ted? Huh? Oh, my goodness. Celtic Spirit's got a Subaru. Oh man. Celtic Spirit's got a Subaru. I think Celtic Spirit's a lady, you know what I'm saying? Actually, those Subaru, we were just talking about the other day about Subaru Brats. Remember those things? They need to bring that back out. They need to bring those Subaru Brats back out. It was like basically a 4-seater with a pickup truck thing. Those things are fantastic. Hey, damn. By most, I'm politically center, slight left, but I believe in good social programs. I believe we give too much power. It's just impossible for me to even consider voting left with the current on focus on stuff that doesn't matter. Yeah, dude, it really is. I know all that stupid stuff. Yeah, I think it is. It's an ugly flag. It really is. It's I don't get it. It's whatever. This whole thing's stupid. Bailed. Hey, Gary. Hey, bailed. Hey, 100 bails for Gary out there in Ohio. Man, I bet your back is gonna be hurting, man. Bet your back's gonna be hurting. That's for sure. Yeah. I mean, but if you think about Dean, if you go back to 2001 and whatnot, man, we're going back 25 years now. So we have a long histoire of this country being messed up. All these people say this is the most brutal election ever, the most controversial election in the world. It's just the whole thing is so stupid. if you actually look back at some of the electioneering back in the old days, it was not just mean, it was mean, real mean. But what are you gonna do? I mean, the country's still gonna be here. We'll get into it here in a second. Let's see here. All right. So moved the majority of my friends from Vanguard to Fidelity. Yeah. Feelings had no IQ. Yeah, I think you're right. All right, so let's talk some Trump stuff here. I'm in their advisor. I'm in personal advisor service. Yeah, that's where they should be able to give you some financial planning advice. I would think. I would hope. I'd hope that if you were in their personal advisory service and this app you pair, that they would be able to say give you a little bit more financial planning advice as opposed to just, hey, whatever you want to do. All right. I use 3 different providers for each investment account. Gotcha. Got Colorado Springs in the house. Gordon's here. Ted's friend says, huh? Ted's friend says, huh? Yeah, the brat, those things you said. Tom's in the house. Yeah, right on, Ron. You got it. Have I ever ridden a Subaru WRX, Josh? I have not. Because I like the ladies, Andrew. No, I don't know. I look, I hear Subarus are pretty sweet. Did I have? I think, no. I did own a Subaru. Holy crap. It was a Subaru. So the first, yes, it was. It was a gold. I didn't have a name for it. What did I do with that thing? My second car I ever owned was a Subaru. I bought this dude in the army. He's what the hell's that guy's name? I forgot. He was a good guy. He's a black guy in the army in a different unit, and he was selling his a gold color Subaru. And I bought off him. That's right. What the hell is his name? I can see his face right now too. I forgot. But anyways, a gold colored Subaru station wagon I bought off him. Yeah, was it Subaru? I'm almost positive it was a Subaru. I can't remember now. I'm almost positive it was a Subaru, but it had an issue with a Cadillac converter, something like that. And I went to I don't know that much about it, but I said, all right, I could probably figure this out. We have a lot of guys in my unit who are pretty big, they switch out engines and stuff. So I said, all right. So I went to dump. I said, I need to get a new Cadillac converter for the car. The guy said it was going to be a crazy amount of money for it. I almost positive Subaru because he has to have remember, I went to the dump and the junkyard. The guy's like, if you got that kind of car in here, you're welcome to look through here, but I'm not sure I got it. Anyway, I sat there, I don't know, probably looked through for a couple hours, and I can't remember that, but I just forgot. But I walked away. I said, I don't have the Cadillac converter. And I said, I was getting ready to get out of the army anyway, like in a couple months. So I think I just traded it in for my Mitsubishi Precis or Precise, whatever the hell it's called. Yeah, it was a Subaru. I know it was. When I think about it, that's crazy. My first car was a 2-door hatchback Toyota Tercel, 1983. My mom sold it to me for $500. I got my license when I was 19, and a friend of mine lived in New Hampshire. He took me up to Maine, dropped me off in Maine on a 4-day weekend where I bought the car for my mom. And I remember I think it was like in August or something like that. So a 95 in Maine, going from Maine south or north, depending on what time of what time of day and whatnot, can get pretty big with traffic. And I didn't know how to drive a stick, so I basically gave myself a day to learn how to drive a stick at my mom's house. And I said, well, I got to get back to my unit. So I remember going down 95. It just, because once you're in gear, it's fine. The hard part is just putting in first gear, on a stop. So I was like, yeah, it was back in the old day where you had the tolls. You just threw like 35 cents in there. And so I just remember said, please, I'm just going to roll through the toll and put the 35 cents in there. I wasn't going to stop. And I was going to be like, I don't care what happens. I'm just rolling through the toll. So I'm like, because you keep it in first. If you're still moving, it's easy to drive a stick. So I said, if I got to stop here, it's going to be bad. So I wasn't able to roll through because it was just end-to-end traffic. So I stopped and I was like, put the 35 cents in. I got the green light and I said, oh, please don't let me not be able to drive this. And that was fine, but it was a good experience. Your launch day was canceled at Cape Canaveral. Yeah, I thought you'd be over there by now, man. Thought you'd be over there. Yeah, if you're in Colorado, you got to have a Subaru, man. If you're in Colorado, you got to have a Subaru, or else they're gonna, come and destroy your house. All right, they canceled your launch because I thought you'd be in Mars by now, big guy. All right, so let's see what you guys got to say about this. So here's my thing about the Trumpster. The whole thing's a joke, obviously. I mean, this thing's so stupid. It's embarrassingly stupid. And again, I think somebody said the people who hate Trump are going to hate him. People who like Trump are going to like him. And the whole idea is like, now I'm definitely going to vote for Trump. I wasn't before. I don't buy any of that stuff. I'm sure there's some people like that. I just think, I'm seeing on the internet all these people posting that they're not going to vote. They're going to vote for Trump. They weren't. I said, dude, I don't buy any of that. I mean, there probably are some people who won't vote for Trump because he's a convicted felon. I get it, 100%. I always kind of chuckle. The Democrats who are so endeared towards the court system, they don't remember the Central Park Five and all these. I mean, just the whole thing is crazy. Does anyone remember Central Park Five? You know what I'm saying? And they would never convict unless he did something wrong. Like, okay, I mean, Scottsboro boys and all. The list goes on and on and on of people who've been maliciously prosecuted and found guilty. It's just look at the founding of the Anti-Defamation League. If you get a chance, don't do it now, but look how the Anti-Defamation League was founded. You'll get a kick out of that. Very, very interesting, actually. You'll like that. And don't just look at it from the pro ADL side, if you know what I'm saying, because they're going to put a very sweet kiss on it. It's very interesting how the ADL was founded in 1913. Just look at that. And again, the issue is the idea that these Democrats all of a sudden, they love the prosecution. And now you can say the same thing on the other side. The Republicans, we used to be, pro prosecution, pro police, and whatnot. I don't think it's mutually exclusive. I think you can be pro police, pro prosecution, and still say I want people to have a free and fair right to defend themselves, and also recognize the prosecution screws up a hell of a lot. They do. And they call it, you can indict a ham sandwich. I mean, all these guys, anyone in the criminal defense industry or even the prosecution industry knows you can indict anything. And I mean, it's easy to indict anything. The question is, can you get him guilty? Well, of course you can if it's in front of a jury of not his peers, and they don't let evidence. I mean, the whole thing's just a clown show. I don't think Trump is going to jail. Let's put it this way. I think there's no way Trump is going to jail. In fact, I still find it interesting. If this was truly as bad as what it was, why is Trump not in jail now? I mean, if you got convicted of 34 cases of felony, what do you think they're going to let you go to UFC tonight and all that stuff? I just think it's weird. Why are they let? I mean, look, the whole thing is a fraud. I don't have any qualm with that at all. But it's just odd. I think that the thing is, they're not going to let him go to jail. And the reason I think that is because if Trump is in jail, that's where, in my opinion, the whole thing is just, you're like, this has gone too far. You see what I'm saying? I mean, it's not going to happen. He's not going to go to jail. I'd be stunned if he were to go to jail. Stunned. I mean, I knew he was going to get found guilty. You could see that a mile away, man. I mean, I guess they said they thought they had some guy who was on True Social. It turned out that would be wrong, but he's not going to jail. It's just like the idea this guy's it's not going to happen. And just the logistics, this whole thing would be so crazy. But I mean, anything could happen. I won't be shocked, I guess you could say. But if Trump were to go to jail, that would be insane. It really would be insane. Especially 4 days before the sentencing for the Republican National Committee. I just don't see it happen. I don't see it happening. And I personally, my conspiracy mind says is at the end of the day, they're going to say, I think the powers that be love war. They want more war. They want, they just, on the same day they convicted Trump, Biden authorized Ukraine to use U.S. stuff in Russia. That's a huge issue. Biden authorized Ukraine to use our own weapons to attack Russia. Imagine if Russia gave Mexico Russian weapons and said, you can use those Russian weapons and bomb and attack into the United States. That's a declaration of war. It's insanity. I think what's going to happen is that they're going to say, Trump, we're not going to send you to jail, but if you win, because I think they know he's going to win, we want to make sure you keep the war machine going. I absolutely think there's bribery involved here, 100%. They're going to say, we want more money to Israel. We want more money to Ukraine. More. And I think at the end of the day, Trump's probably going to say, you got it. Because Trump, he's big on Israel as it is. And, I mentioned a little bit about the Ukraine stuff. He hasn't been it hasn't been as nearly as what I would like to see, frankly. And which is we're getting out of all this stuff. I could absolutely see him saying I could absolutely see them saying, Trump, we're not going to put you in jail if you do this. And then the question is, well, what happens when Trump becomes president? What are they going to do then? Put him in jail? I don't think they could. But, this is the power of the bribery stuff that they got in these places. I mean, there's just no way these guys aren't paid off, man. There's just no way. I mean, and Sheldon Ellison's wife, Miriam, she's going to donate, I don't know, tens of millions of dollars to Trump. And Eldison, whatever the hell his name was, a big Israel guy. So there's no way Trump is going to turn off the spigot to these war machines. It's just not. Now, I mean, he might tell NATO to go pound sand, which I'd love. All that stuff. Tell NATO, go get out of here. Say, freaking you. I mean, it'd be great. Maybe pull some troops out of Europe. I'd love all that stuff. But the facts are the Ukraine stuff is ramping up even more than what anyone's talking about because this whole focus on this freaking stupid show with Trump in jail time and all that. I don't see it happening. I just don't. So we'll see. I mean, at the end of the day, I don't think it affects Trump's ability to. I mean, it sucks. He can't. Look, I'm going to vote for the guy. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I hope because Biden is just. I mean, Biden himself isn't there, but his team is evil. There's just no two ways around that. I just don't think the teams are that different. That's where I'm coming to. Is I think when all is said and done, when you lay your cards on the table, I think the Republicans and the Democrats, by and large, are the same damn team, 100%. And as such, I think we have an outlier in Trump, and Trump is they probably couldn't control him like they probably thought they could initially when he won in 2016, and so they had to go after him all the force of Russiagate, all this stuff, and now they think they got him. And I don't know if you saw we're going to win on appeal. Did you see who the appellate judges were? Let's just put it this way. It's 5 ladies who probably aren't voting for Trump, if you know what I'm saying. So the appellate judges, they're not going to be all that keen to overturn this jury verdict and whatnot. And as such, he's not going to get overturned. So I absolutely think they're using this as I personally think they said to Trump, we got, if you don't do what we say, we're going to come after you. Trump, I think there's a feather in Trump's cap. He says, no, if I win, I'm running again. And when I win, we're going to change things. They said, we're going after you, dude. And we're going to do everything don't forget the number 3 guy in the DOJ under Biden, the number 3 guy, I can't remember his name. Wasn't Weissman, something like that though. The number 3 it was a Colangelo. The number 3 guy in the Department of Justice under Biden quit his job at the DOJ to work for Alvin Bragg for a much lesser salary. Colangelo. I mean, Trump said, I'm not playing. And now they got him. Man. It's crazy. They're just like, it's going to be all about the bribes. How much can they bribe? What does it take to get Trump to freaking capitulate, to allow the war machine to keep going? And I don't even think these Democrats, the people that run the show, they're not just Democrats. I don't think they give 2 craps about 57 flavors. I don't think they give 2 craps about climate change. I don't even think they give 2 craps about freaking oil and gas versus wind. I don't think they care. I just think they like the war machine. That's what I think is what they want to keep, because the war machine is just profitable and evil. And I tell you, it's so bad. And that's what I think they want. Whoever's in charge, I don't know these people. Adelsons of the world, I have no clue. The Rockefellers, I have no idea. They love the war machine. They're committed to it. They want the war machine, and they want to keep expanding American empire to make sure we run the world. And if we got to do that by the blood of innocent children, we're going to do it by the blood of innocent children. It's just like when Madeleine Albright was the Secretary of State under Clinton, she was asked by CBS News, like Leslie, whatever her name was, Stahl, or one of these clowns. Maybe it was Barbara Walters. I can't remember. But she said, with your sanctions on Iraq, 500,000 children could die from a lack of food and resources and whatnot. She goes, yeah, that sucks, but that's the price we got to pay for promoting, basic democracy all over the world. It's like these are sick people, dude. This is a sickness. And Madeleine Albright is just endemic of what's going on up there in Washington, D.C. So I think at the end of the day, they're saying, Trump, we don't mind if you win. We don't care what you do on the side issues. We don't care about the abortion stuff. And maybe they probably do. But mostly we care about the keeping the freaking war machine greased. And as long as you continue to grease the war machine, you're our guy. We'll let you out of jail. I literally think that's what's going to happen. And we'll see. If Trump goes to jail, that means the bribery did not work, in my opinion. And I don't think it's going to stop. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But it's just such a clown show. It's just sad to see it have to go this way. The idea, because I think in Bolsonaro, whatever the guy's name in Brazil, they were going after him too. Like they got to be honest, in Brazil, the previous clown, it was Dilma Rousseff, and then the guy who took over from her, she got sent to prison. Lula. So they put the previous presidents in jail in Brazil, and now Lula is in charge. He's trying to get Bolsonaro, whatever his name is. Yeah, that guy, I think, extradited to Brazil so he can put him in prison. You see what I'm saying? It's just sad to see America going like that. But it's what's happening, man. I mean, it's what's happening. This is the way it is nowadays. And the people on the left love it, and the people on the right hate it. And what we do is they want us angry at each other. I was thinking about when I say my prayers today, because you got to pray for your enemies. Dude. You got to pray for Sniffy Joe. You don't just pray for the people you like. You got to pray for the people you can't stand. And it just popped in my head. I said, politics, the reason evil loves politics is because politics makes people hate each other. You see what I'm saying? Literally it does. And I just think what happens is the more politics, the more hate there is. And as such, when people say anything that can divide more, to keep people at, just hating on each other, man. And they do a great job. Evil does a great job. Evil says, we want you guys to hate each other. What's the best way to get you to hate each other? SEC football, maybe, but not much. Politics, man. Religion, politics, we're going to get you to hate each other. And as long as you perpetuate hate, evil is winning. I 100, that just hit me in the head. I was like, man, that wasn't me. It was the Holy Spirit, I think, putting things in my head to say, that makes sense. The more politically engaged you are, the more you're going to hate your political opponents. And you can see it on Twitter, dude. These people are freaking crazy. I think it's kind of fun. Now, if WAG is boring, like, oh, God, here's another guy. But, I think it's kind of fun to argue. And I don't argue that much because, frankly, it just bores me. But it's kind of fun poking them. What I'll do is I'll do a jab, and I'll back up, and I'll run away. I just jab. I'm like the drive-by media. Like, jab, back up. I'm out of there. It doesn't. It's fun to not really care that much. All right, so we got right now. So, again, if you're not seeing the comments, most of the people here on my main Heritage Wealth Planning channel, there are some people on Josh Scanlon channel on YouTube, a couple of people on X, and a person on Facebook. So my man says here, I don't understand why they're still trying this legal stuff. It's not hurting them, but basically just aligning everybody to distrust. Yeah, but if you haven't distrust the existing. So for me, my thing is after seeing what the cops are doing in, I think it was Minnesota or something like that, there's a lady who let her kid go play a play date at the next door neighbor's house without a mask on, or so I can't remember what it was. And the cops came and just harassed this woman. The whole thing was just insane. It was like, this is the thing with the Republican Party. Be careful what you wish, because when you're allowing the prosecution to have this much power. So a lot of Republicans, you'll see, I was a prosecutor in friggin' DeKalb County. So I know how to get these criminals behind bars. Like, are they real criminals or not? I'm telling you, there's a lot of Republicans like, hey man, we got to protect the prosecution. Yeah, that's where it's at. They would never convict you if you weren't guilty. They'll only be if. What do you got to hide? Just show them your phone. What do you got to hide? Let them come in your house. What do you got to hide? And the Republicans have been big on the prosecution for decades. You know what I'm saying? The police can do no wrong. The prosecution, they're going to put the criminals away. And the Democrats are always on the side of the defense, too much, frankly. I mean, without question, like Mumai, Abdul Jamal, and all these clowns. But they're always on the side of the fence. And now it's almost so. Republicans say, no, we need more authority to arrest bad guys, more authority to prosecute bad guys. And we don't want any prison reform either, and all that stuff. And so now that Republicans are on the receiving end of this, hopefully they're taking a step back and say, no, not we do need to have prosecution reform, 100%. And if this is the kick in the pants that they need, I just hope it's not too late. We do need prison reform. It's not. It's absolutely unacceptable to have people getting raped in prison. This is insane. There's a guy, an old guy from Virginia, Frank Wolf, who used to focus on this quite a bit. I think he wasn't from the 8th. I forgot what district he was in Virginia, but he used to focus on prison reform all the time. It's absolutely unacceptable to have people getting raped in prison. That's a violation of your civil rights, and you still have civil rights in prison to your own bodily autonomy. And of course, everyone's like, "Oh, you're defending you want to defend." No, no one. It's absolutely not appropriate to have people getting raped in prison. It's absolutely horrible, and that should not be allowed. It's not something to joke about either. And yet that never went anywhere. And he was the only Republican to actually talk about it. I've had nothing but respect for Frank Wolf. I think it's Frank Wolf. I can't remember his last name. I forgot his last name. I think it was the 7th. Was he in the 7th of Virginia? The 8th was the Jim Moran. That was my district. I lived in Alexandria, and he was a big lib. I think 7th was Frank. I think it's Frank Wolf. But anyway, he was the only Republican to talk with. All the other Republicans said, screw up, throw away the key. Blah, 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 blah. It's like, dude, it's going to turn on you, man. It's going to turn. And when it does, you're going to be like, dude, what was I thinking? And now it's turning on us, Jan 6 people, Trump, and but a litany of other people as well have been falsely accused, imprisoned, the whole thing. And if this is what it takes to get the Republicans to wake the hell up, well, I hate to say it, more power to it. That's good. That's a good thing in the overall scheme of things. Sadly, I'm not sure there's enough. I don't know if we're going to be able to stop the train. The train's a runaway train here. That's funny. Now the Democrats are big on prosecution. You know what I'm saying? The Democrats who used to be in cahoots with Russian, look at Ted Kennedy negotiating with the commies while Reagan. I mean, this is what I'm talking about. Ted Kennedy was literally negotiating with the commies against Reagan. That guy should have been thrown in jail for that, but he wasn't. Instead, they go after Mike Flynn or whatever the hell they were, whoever it was. It's insanity. Insanity. Trump was saying, lock her up, Hillary. Instead, they didn't lock her up. Instead, this is what I'm talking about, man. The Republicans always pave the way for the Democrats to do what the Republicans don't have the guts to do. Because the Democrats, they're not going to stop because the media is the Democrats. The Democrats, the media is the Democrats. They're never going to write bad stories about Trump going to jail with a crazy prosecution. They're never going to. They're always say, the prosecution was free and it was legitimate. Do you hear the college Republicans even? This is how bad the Republican Party is. We got to honor the jury's prosecution. No, you don't. What are you talking about, man? You don't have to honor this crap. A bad jury is a bad jury, regardless of the freaking whatever happens in terms of the results. This is insanity. And they're college, but we got to respect the rule of law. No, you don't, because the rule of law was violated the minute they went after this guy. It's crazy. But we got to respect the rule of law. If the rule of law isn't being used correctly, you don't respect the rule of law. Now, that doesn't mean you go riot and stuff. There's nothing you can do about it. Just crazy, man. I'm sitting there like, what is with these Republicans? The rule of law was violated. It's been violated a million. I was talking to a guy today, and I'm going to interview him here in a week or so. One of my friends from high school, as a matter of fact. And his county stole his kids from him. And he gets to only see his kids 1 hour a week, his county. This is not rule of law stuff. And the college proposed, said, well, we got to respect the rule of law. No, you don't. No, you don't. The rule of law, if it's not used appropriately, you don't have to respect it. Again, you don't go banging heads and busting down doors like Antifa does, but you recognize that it's insane. This is like some kind of sacred cow for Republicans to say, oh, the prosecution is never wrong. The prosecution's full of crap. All of them. All they want to do is see their freaking faces on the paper saying, oh, they put this guy in jail, Yay. You see what I'm saying? My mom was married to a district attorney in Cumberland County, Maine. Now, he wasn't district attorney anymore when she married him, but he told stories about he could not stand the cops. I'm pro-cop, don't get me wrong. He said the cops will lie, they'll make crap up, they'll do anything to get a conviction, anything. And so the funny thing is, to prosecute, it's got to go to the district attorney. The district attorney's got to accept the case or not. And so my mom's husband told stories, not to me, to my mom, saying, yeah, they bring these cases up and you say, where's this kind of evidence? And they're saying, but they always knew, don't give him any crap because he wasn't going to take kindly to their makeup, arrests and whatnot. And he was a Republican, big time Republican. I don't want to say much more than that. Let's just put it this way: he had I don't want to say anything else. But anyway, he was a big time Republican. And he said, no, these guys are making crap up. They're bringing crap up here that there's no defense of this. And so his whole issue was he had a couple cops he could trust. He said, okay, these guys bring me a case, I'll prosecute. These other guys, they're gonna have to bring a serious lot of evidence because there's so much bad stuff they're bringing to me. There's so much just bull crap. I mean, like lies, just to see some people, petty. These guys had petty grievances against somebody, so they'd create this false agenda to get them arrested and try to get them locked up. It's crazy. These are human beings, man. And prosecutions, all they want is get W's and L's. They just want the W's. Get the W's, get the W's, get the W's. However they can get the W's, that's all they're going to do. And as such, the Republicans now can see with the whole point about, always and everywhere be in favor of the prosecution, the police. I'll never forget, too, right? I'll never forget this like it was yesterday. I was on a jury in San Antonio. This is actually Bexar County, which is north of San Antonio. Not Bexar County. Bexar County, San Antonio. We're in Kendall County. I shared this with you before. This is just, I think the lady was pulled over for drunk. She was pulled over and they found dope in her cars. I can't remember what it was. And there's no reason they should have pulled over to begin with. I mean, it was obviously she was profiled. There's no other way around it. She was profiled. And I literally, she was profiled. That's just all there was to it. And the cop, you could see the car was driving fine. The cops just pulled the lights on and said, "Oh, you're driving erratically." It was not driving erratically. It was not. But anyway, long story short, they pulled her over. It turned out that her boyfriend had dope on him, and they busted the boyfriend for dope, and they busted her for transporting the dope. And I said, I said no, I didn't buy that for 2 seconds flat, because I said there's no reason you should pull this lady over. I mean, look, she could be up to no good and all that, but you still have the presumption of innocence in this country, believe it or not. If you're just driving down the street, the cops shouldn't be pulling you over because they think you might have some dope in the car. That's not the way it works, man. Unless there's a reason to do that. And you could see the dash cam, whatever it was, the cam that they used to show that she was swerving. No, she wasn't. She was completely fine. I said, no, that didn't work for me. Just because you found something after your initial stop doesn't mean you should have made the initial stop to begin with, which, I mean, because if they did that, they could come to your house anyway. Hey, we found that Josh had some cocaine here, but you're never supposed to be here anyway. Well, that's beside the point. No, it's not. You're never supposed to be here. And I don't have cocaine because I'm not, let's just put it this way. I like women, so I don't do coke, okay? You see what I'm saying? Anyway, so I'll never forget, I'm on the jury. I'll never forget this. Crusty old boomer guy. This guy freaking pissed me off, man. He's just like, the cops would never do this if they didn't think it's legitimate. So I trust the cops. I said, I trust cops too, but they were wrong. You should never pull them over. I told the guy, I said, dude, there's no way you would, if you're the cop, you would have pulled her over. Other than your profile. There's just no way. I mean, just not. It was a Spanish lady. And they're like, and a Spanish guy. And you're like, yo, you must be liberal then. Because they would, blah, 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 blah. I was like, dude, the guy was pissed at me. There's me and this other lady we voted against, and so it was a hung jury 10-2. I said, I'm not changing. You guys do whatever the hell you want. I'm not changing because this is stupid. They should never pull her over. The only reason you're agreeing to this is because the cops and the prosecution are good in your eyes and the defense is bad. And then you factor in a Spanish lady, and she was, she speak English and was like she's straight from Mexico. That's it. That's the only reason you're doing this is obviously. And that guy was like, he was pissed at me. Like I was like, man, freaking. Anyway, it's funny because it's like when I served, I said, oh, okay, because I could tell he's implying like he was so much better because he served. I said, oh, what branch? He goes, Navy. I said, when I was in the infantry, he was like, so yeah, shut the hell up, you freaking clown. But he was like anything, like, but yet now it's coming back on that guy, and I just kind of chuckled. I said, this is what I've been telling you about. A conservative is a liberal who's been mugged. A libertarian with a small L is a conservative who's been falsely prosecuted, like your old buddy Josh here. Yes, me, falsely prosecuted. And as such, you say, the police state is pretty bad after all. Now, much of it is good. We need the cops to protect us, our private property, to protect us if something happens, we get robbed. We want the cops right then. Absolutely. That doesn't mean we just give an unlimited power, though. We don't just say, hey, cops, I trust you can do wrong. Here, go out of my house, check my phone, check my freaking bank accounts. No, that's not how it works in a free country. No way. Anyway, so the point being is now it's all turned back on the Republicans. And yet at the same time, the Democrats are the big ones, prosecutions, hating on Russia. It's the whole thing is such the way it's turned is actually kind of something to behold. I chuckle. I'm a chuckler in that regard. I say, you guys all suck. But with that said, I don't think Trump's going to jail, so I think they're going to give Trump a bribe to make sure that the war machine keeps going, and Trump will agree to it 100%. And Trump's for Trump, man. I mean, Trump's a patriot. He loves America, but he's going to take care of number one, and I don't blame him at all. I don't blame him at all, not in the least. He threw his hat in the ring to try to make America better. He's done a good job at that. Under Trump, is much better than it is now. And as such, his number one goal, in my opinion, for Trump is to do what they tell him to do and still use his rest of his ability to make America great again. And that means we got to keep the war machine going. I hate it, but what are you going to do, man? We're dealing with some evil freaking sycophants, and they run things. And because Biden's not winning again, it's not going to happen. I guess he could. I mean, assuming that everything's free, and but again, that's my other concern too. The Republicans haven't done crap when it comes to securing the election. They haven't. So I would not be shocked at all if the election still goes for Biden. And now I'll stop here in just a second, let you guys have some comments. But lastly, if Biden were, I don't know how this works. I read someplace on Twitter that Trump can't pardon himself because it's a state law or something like that. And maybe some of you lawyers know down here. I don't know this to be true. But anyway, some guy said Trump, if he wants, he can't. Yeah, that's right. Is that true? Yeah, right there. That's what Harry's saying. Yeah, that's what I thought too. So I don't know that to be true, Harry. Biden can't pardon Trump. Only the I don't know that to be true. I think, yeah. What do you guys know? So, okay, you guys are fighting over it. Yeah, I don't know. So Harry's saying only. All right, so we got two people saying that's true. So the president can't pardon a state convicted. Yeah. So here's. Yeah. All right. So here's Andrew and Harry. Let me stood my ground on the not guilty. Oh, and that guy. Yeah, man. Exactly. 100%. 100%. I completely agree with that. And they do it because they know there's no consequence. All right. So Jill says a president can't pardon a state. This guy, where's my man freaking the other? I had a lawyer on here a couple weeks ago. Where's that guy? I don't know. Because see, we got two completely different points of view here. Yeah, I saw Big Mike's mom passed away. No, I'm not. It's this what you're missing, Jill. He's not agreeing to the wars. He's agreeing to stay out of jail. That's what I'm saying. And he's not going to do anything. What I'm saying is he's not going to sit there and say, he's not going to say get the grease over. He's going to say we'll let the money keep flowing like it always has. That's what I'm saying. I don't think he's going to say we're going to send American troops or anything like that. Not at all. I don't think that's saying that. I'm saying at the end of the day, he's going to say this is what keeps me out of jail. Yeah, we'll let the money keep flowing. What I'm saying, and it's easy to do, Joe. When you think about it, they're going to send him a spending bill before, it originates in the House Ways and Means Committee, of course, and it goes through all the committees and whatnot. And they originates in the House, they pass in the House, it goes to the Senate, they have a conference, they agree on whatever they're going to do, they send it to the president, and they're going to say there's a lot of good stuff in there, but some of the stuff that's not good is a Ukraine bill. You can see this is how it's going to work. And it won't be under the cover night. We'll say, man, Trump, you're signing the bill to support Ukraine. He goes, yeah, but I also get a bunch of money to support for the borders too. And you got at the end of the day, you're like, well, what are you going to do? I mean, you're going to say, okay, yeah, I guess Ukraine gets another $100 billion, but we get $100 billion for the wall. I mean, something like that. I don't know. So in of itself, it's not going to be this like standalone. We're going to give Ukraine $100 billion. It's going to say, don't get in our way when we need more money for Ukraine and more money for Israel. That's what I'm saying. And it's be part of a omnibus budget bill or whatever the hell they call those things, where it's all thrown in there. And this is where line item vetoes were so important back in the day. We can say, no, I don't want that. I want this. Instead of vetoing the whole bill, you could veto individual parts of it. That's why a line item veto was such a big deal. And I just can't remember where it stands now. I don't think they have it anymore. It's all or nothing. And you're like, and this is the problem here is because if you veto the bill that says we want a border wall, oh, Trump didn't really want a border wall. It's like the Democrats are doing now. Oh, so you don't support the bipartisan legislation for border security? You're like, no, because the legislation, just because it's bipartisan, doesn't mean crap. It's only bipartisan because a couple of idiot Republicans. But it's easy, man. You just throw it all in there, one big bill. Trump signs it because, yeah, what are you going to do? I can easily see that. They just want to say Trump to get out of the way for the spending, 100%. Get up and do something. Like what, Dan? What I mean, what? So we can all do something. Donations, other activities. Yeah, I mean, you can. What I'm saying, if you get out there and you can you can go around like I used to do this all the time for the Republican Party. Knock on. I'm not gonna because I think the whole thing's silly. But you can, and people should. 100%. I was watching Canvas is what it's called. I used to do this all the time. You can canvas. You can get there, knock on doors. You can make calls. I would not donate. I think your money's whatever you do, do not donate to the RNC for the love of the good Lord. The Republican National Committee is not your friends. Donate to your local guy. Your local guy. You know what I'm saying? If you want to throw a couple bones to Trump, that's fine. But if you're going to donate to your local people. The local people is where you're going to have the influence, man. Survey or canvas for your local people. It's the president is so far removed from you. The president of the United States, literally, it's not worth it to do anything. Canvas for your local people, like your state's house rep, your state house guy who's running in your district, your school district. Don't you? This is what drives me crazy about politics. People, they only care when it's the president, and they get all involved in the president. The president's so far your ability to do anything, it doesn't even matter if you vote for him or not. It doesn't. But your local school guy, yeah, that matters a lot. But no one cares about that. What do we have an election in Texas? We took out a lot of anti-school choice people in the Republican primary, but they did not take out, this is huge. I mean, we want these people gone because they're rhinos. Unfortunately, one of the rhinos lasted, who's a congressman. I forgot his name, Tony Gonzalez or something like that. And that guy sucked. But he won. He squeaked by, but he won by, I think it's 51-47 or something like that. But you got to go after the local, because don't forget, the state house and the state reps, the state senate and the state house, that's where the minor leagues are for the bigger guys. And this is the issue. The RNC and the GOP establishment, they corner those people. You got a lot more righteous guys in there. But if you want to move up the ranks, you got to scratch the back of these guys, the Chamber of Commerce, all that stuff. That's where they start getting the feelers of who can be bought out, who cannot. And if you're more likely to be bought out, guess what? You'll find an easier path than if you're less likely to be bought out. It's just a fact. It's just a fact. And so you got to say, I got to support this guy. I got to support this guy. This guy's right. This guy's solid. And I got to stick with him as he hopefully advances his way up into the major leagues and Congress. Yeah, that's well, Hunter. I didn't care. I mean, I'm actually talking about Joe Biden. Joe Biden's illegal activities. The whole thing with Burisma. I mean, the whole thing is how much money this guy made. Joe Biden is insane. On top of Joe Biden getting involved in Ukraine, remember the whole thing? Like I told the guy, if you want your money, you better get the prosecution. I mean, this is. Yeah, no, if we send troops to Ukraine, that's we're done there. All right, we got more people saying, think globally, act locally. Yeah, see, I have a little bit of issue with that. Trump stood up for. I mean, I tend to agree by and large, Dan, with it here. I think Trump, they're going after Trump because they want it. I completely get that. I do. I'm still not happy with the way Trump was about the January 6th people. I'm not. You can donate money to me, 100%, man. 100%. Yeah, there are U.S. troops in Ukraine, 100%. I think the January 6th stuff, look, this is just, money more than quarterbacking. I wish Trump would have put more of an emphasis on these guys who are absolutely political prisoners. 100%. And Trump, in my opinion, didn't do enough to. I get it. Look, man, the guy's been under, and this is a pet peeve, but not much to me. Like, Trump, you idiot. I wish he would have. I don't think I'm allowed to say. They might be right. Allegedly. I at the end of the day, whatever. I think what happened was that Trump had so much. This is my defense of the guy here. I wish he would have said more about the January 6th. With that said, in his defense, he had a lot going on, man. He had a lot going on with all the people, with all those people coming down on him, and so I don't blame him for that. Now that might be my own naivety, whatever it's called. Maybe, but if you have these these guys are going after Trump hard. They weren't going after Trump hard because he was part of the team. I've gone back and forth on this, but I said, was Trump part of this? Because the whole thing with COVID, I said, what? My big thing with Trump was he didn't stand firm enough against the COVID people. He just didn't. I wish he would have. I wish he would have. I heard one guy posted something about so there's a guy I follow on Twitter, Jack Posobiec, whatever that guy's name is. Yeah, guys, I like the guy. He kind of annoys me in some regard, but he calls it Franco Fridays. Talk about Franco saved Spain from the commies. It's pretty interesting. And another guy's posting, wait till Barron runs. You're going working out? All right, cool. Barron's what, 6'6", something like that. We're gonna Barron like the tower, and Barron's just gonna crush all comers. He's gonna be like our version of Franco. I thought that was fun. You put you say Barron Trump is our version of Franco. That was kind of funny. We'll see. Leave him off the salt mines. That's right. Oh, that's funny. Oh man. Yeah. Look, man. It's who knows? I mean, I don't know. Things are lost in Connecticut too. Yeah. You got freaking Ned Lamont as your governor. Remember, he was a crazy loon challenging from the far left on Lieberman. What? No, he's had 3 years, Jill, to talk about the January 6 guys. 3 years. 3. He should. I mean, for me, I wish he would have been on that like white on rice. That whole thing was a travesty. I wish he would have been on that like white on rice. But again, that's kind of water under the bridge. It's all right. It's all right. Follow Jesus, join his party. Yeah, 100%. But yeah, with that said, though, I don't think Jesus is sitting up there saying at the end of the day, how dare you vote, get involved in politics. I don't think so at all. I think Jesus wants you to love God more than you love anything else and love your neighbor as you love yourself. But with that said, and somebody said about that, man. See, that's what that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Whatever happens, man, it's all good. It's all good. We still don't know how the story ends. I mean, this is anything. I literally think this is part of the issue to get people to hate each other. I truly do. The best way to get people to hate each other is politics, religion, and race. And they're always going to play one of these things. Yeah, I don't. I literally, I don't. I don't listen, Jill, because I don't pay attention that much. Hopefully he's been saying that. He's going to part them over and over again. I don't. Just think if you would have gone there. They had him pick on COVID. You didn't let them do their see this. Yeah, I hear you, Mike. This is, but see, I'm telling you, I told you guys this story before. My wife used to be a bond analyst in the late 90s for a mutual fund company. And one of the bonds she had to analyze was one of Trump's bonds. And Trump was his braggadocious self. My bonds are great, blah, 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 blah. And, Trump has gone bankrupt in his businesses. You know what I'm saying? So they're very wary. She was a junk bond analyst of buying up the Trump bonds. Anyway, so she went to some conference, something like that. I can't remember what it was, or I can't remember the whole thing. But somehow she found out that Trump was a huge germaphobe. And I said, how ironic that the guy who's president under COVID is the biggest germaphobe around. I always thought that was kind of funny to me. I said, that's ironic. That's ironic, not an outright, so it just seems ironic to me that the biggest germaphobe ever was the one in charge during COVID. So because Trump was such a germaphobe, I can almost guarantee the COVID stuff scared the living hell out of him. I can almost guarantee you that. And as such, you can't really blame him for his stance. He can't. Now, I still freaking hate the fact he's the biggest salesman of vaccines there's ever been in the history of the world. I hate that crap. But in of itself, during COVID, Trump was I assume he's still a germaphobe. He's probably like, oh man, this kind of makes sense to me. Germs scare me. Thus, let's lock everybody down. And it's okay to lock everybody down. Man, I get it. I get it. Yeah, that's what I thought too. No, he does. It shook a lot of hands. That's why I said, how the hell did he do that? I completely agree with that. I was always said that same thing, man. Yeah, the whole thing with the Clintons, I 100% here. Clinton campaign, it's insane. This whole thing. That's why the whole thing is just so insane. How the emails, all this. It's insanity. I think Trump trusted the quote science. I think he did. That's a mistake. It was a mistake. He shouldn't have trusted him. Now, I mean, again, Jill gets mad when I'm being silly, Jill. You don't get mad, but Jill challenges me. I'm saying if Trump were my avatar, I wish he would have stuck firm on COVID. I said, no, this is crazy. No, I wish he would not have promoted the vax. I wish he'd been out there spitting fire about January 6th. Jill said he is. Okay, that's good. I hope so. I've seen Trump give I just don't watch that much. I don't watch the news because news pisses me off, and I don't want to get pissed off, so I don't watch it. That's the thing. It's like, why watch something that makes you mad? You know what I'm saying? It doesn't make any sense to me. We had the news on today in the background. I was making some food, and they start talking about this whole thing, like the convicted felon Trump. It's weird how you say the convicted felon Trump. You never say convicted felon George Floyd. Never talk about George Floyd as convicted felon. Yeah, I 100%, man. Those big pharma. Trump listened to Fauci. Brad said he would have gone to Washington, but I have a disabled son, cannot leave him home. Yeah, it's crazy. You could be literally, and they're still going after people this day. This day. Isn't that crazy? They're still going after people to this day. We didn't know who the Snakes were the first time around, but now we do. Well, we'll see. We'll see. I mean, I'm not gonna say I'm ecstatic. I mean, this pisses me off. The idea that Hillary Clinton is out there gloating. It's the gloating that pisses me off. Not gonna lie. It's the gloating. You've seen Hillary Clinton gloat and all these. I just like, oh, but that's the just you got to shut it off. And if you're like me, and I'm a man, maybe because I'm a man, I get more fired up on this stuff. I hate lying sacks of crap, and I hate liars who get away with lying it, and everybody knows they did. It really infuriates me. It really, really infuriates me. Seeing Hillary, the biggest scoundrel of them all, way worse than Obama, way worse than Trump. What's his name? Sniffy Joe. Yeah, 100%. Don't watch the news. Why let them still? Well, I can agree. I don't watch the news because that makes me so mad. I just seeing Hillary Clinton up there just like smirking and gloating. It's so. I literally got viscerally mad. I said, "See, this isn't good for my health. It's not good to be mad. I don't want to be mad. I like life too much. Life is too good. I'm not gonna let Hillary Clinton live rent free in my mind. You know what I'm saying? It still pissed me off though, and I got mad because I knew some of these idiots on Facebook on my thing, like Trump 34, 34, and then it's just like some guys, and I get it. Everyone has their own opinion, but but it made me mad. But that's what I'm talking about. That's what evil wants. They want you bad. They don't care what side evil, whatever the evil is. Satan incarnate, some kind of freaking download that I don't know what it is. It's satanic. Demons exist. They want you angry because angry is you can put your hate on somebody else. And the more people watch the news, in my opinion, exactly, Kirk, the more they fall for the theater. It's completely a theater, 100%. Now the question is, who's involved? I don't know. I can't say for sure. Is Fauci, an actor, or is he just an NPC? I don't know. I don't know how that works. Yeah, well, the NRA says If you outlaw guns, only outlaws have guns. So now you say vote for the outlaw. If that's what they're saying, that's fantastic. You got to turn the channel, man. You got to turn the channel. 100%. Yeah. Yeah. No, but if you live mad, it's not a virtue. Yeah. No one ever said getting angry is a sin. No one's saying that. I'm just saying if you allow it to bring you down, it certainly is. You see what I'm saying? And for me, I don't want to bring me down. I don't like it. I don't like the way it makes me feel. So I've learned many moons ago to avoid what makes me feel bad and just go with what makes me feel good. And that's you got to be careful there too, because what makes you feel good could be drinking alcohol, getting looking at pornography, freaking eating M&Ms, which we got for which I haven't eaten. So you got to be careful there too. But avoid the things that make you feel bad first and foremost. Yeah, I just got to turn the channel, man. 100%. Yeah. Jesus saying convicted. Yeah, no, but they never said that about George Floyd. That's what cracks me up. Convicted felon Donald Trump. Another about George Floyd. So anyway, I got saying, hey, look at my man here. They're trying to jail Trump because he threatens the status quo. Doesn't matter who the officer. They'll try to throw him in jail. If it looks like they're going to upset the gravy train, I just don't think he's going to jail, man. I don't think that's the 100%, man. 100%. I realize politics is just a trap. That's what we want, Broken Arrow. Oh, look at Broken Arrow's changed. You're not playing guitar anymore? That's what we want. We want good feels, man. There's got enough bad feels in the world, that's for sure. And the world's still good. How long before I move my money to Bucket One? Yeah, I would say at least 2 years, or 2 years. 2 years before, I'd like to have, for me, I can't say you, Rivian, Ralph. I think having money in there for 2 years in advance is a good thing, for sure. Absolutely. Yeah, they do. Maybe. Yeah, I think you're right. I think 100%, Dano. I think it's be a house arrest. I completely think that's right. House arrest. Yep. What do you think, Pulverizer? Pulverizer is he's on the inside. Well, because the whole thing's stupid. This week is 1 year of hey, look at Michael Lewis. Right on, man. Oh, dude, 100%. What's going to happen to Trump? What do you think is going to happen to Trump? I completely agree. Media gets an email every day telling them what to say. 100%. Man. All right, so there's Liberty. I'm retiring. I'm retired. No longer feel important. I'm meaning having. Hey, see, this is what I'm talking about. So here's Jill saying you got to do something. Right, Jill said right here. What did Jill say? I missed it. I'm not sure. Not lifting. See, I think Jill and I have a disagreement of what lifting a finger is. But this is how you lift a finger right here, my man. Right there, run for school, dude. Dude, that is so much more powerful than donating $20 to Trump campaign. That right there is the best thing you can do. 100%. Getting out there, running for school board, and then what you can do, Liberty, you can get on here and tell us how you did it. Because I have no clue how you'd even start up. This is where Republicans screw up a lot. I think there used to be a guy in Virginia. I forgot his name, but there used to be this thing that would show up and coming Republican activists how to actually run. Because I don't know how to do it. I've been involved in politics my whole damn life. How do you go run? I mean, because we'd have to canvass to get the signatures and all that stuff. I have no clue how that works. None. And I can't remember that group's name anymore. But I used to. It was big in I won't say quite northern Virginia. I almost want to say it was. I can't remember. I forgot where it was. Like Warrenton or something like that. I don't think it was down there. But anyway, I forgot the guy's name. Anyway. It was a pretty right-wing group on getting activists how to actually organize, how to run a campaign, how to run for office. The nuts and bolts, man. It was fantastic. I'm sure he's dead by now. He's an old man. It was great. I just forgot the name of it. And anyway, so if Liberty 1776 says I want to run for office, how would you do it? I don't know. I mean, you go down to the lady at the front desk at the city council, and she's going to say, well, that's what you got to do. I mean. that'd be hard for a lot of people to do because they're gonna be intimidated. Like, I don't know how does an average Joe throw his hat in the ring to do that? You see what I'm saying? So we need people, activists, and you could be a Democrat. I don't care. I don't know why you would be one, given the evil of that party, but still, to go down there and figure out how to do this from the grassroots, and then share that knowledge with other people. You say, this is what you do. At least in my district, this is what you do. That's a good starting point. So that way, people know you got to go down there. You're going to have to get you got to get signatures, enough signatures to put your name on the ballot, and whatnot. And you got to start small. That's why a lot of these, what drives me crazy about the federal campaigns, is a lot of people say, I'm going to run for House of Representatives. Like, dude, start local, man. Start local. That's how you build connections. That's how you build loyalty. Like I always said, my mom's a left-wing Democrat. She got a picture of FDR in her house, and she always voted for Olympia Snowe, was a Republican. So why? And she goes, because she always, every time I needed something, I'm sure my mom needed a lot. Olympia Snow's office took care of me. The constituent service was huge. And so my mom would always vote for Olympia Snowe, always. I imagine she voted for the stupid, what's her name, Susan Collins too, because of, but I remember her telling me specifically Olympia Snowe. I said, why I vote for the Republican? Because she always took care of her. I said, man, that's how politics is done. But Olympia Snowe started, I forgot what, I know she was in Congress, but she was in the House before she went to the Senate. But I can't remember if she was like a state senator. I can't remember. But anyway, I just remember Olympia Snowe started small and worked her way up, building that constituents. And not only that, when you build the constituents, you're building activists as well. You see what I'm saying? You're starting off the state house. You got to get the activists, because now, let's say you're going to campaign in Carnesville, Georgia, and you're from Alpharetta, Georgia. No one knows you there. No one. So you're going to go there by yourself? No, you got to have an advanced team, and the advanced team all volunteers. Usually college kids and school guys. They're going to go there and they're going to freaking canvass. They're going to set up shop. They're going to freaking say, hey, Joe Snuffy's coming by here. He wants to freaking do a speech on, making sure the vaccines aren't mandated and whatnot. I mean, just as one person at a time. That's how politics works. Everyone hates politics, but politics is the epitome of a salesmanship. Now, all these rich guys that come in and they jump into the fray for president and senate, and that's not politics. Politics is a local game. That's what makes it kind of fun, because it's truly rubbing shoulders against your neighbors. That's why I can never be involved in it, because people piss me off. I'll never forget, we're at American Veterans Day thing at breakfast a couple years ago here in Milton, and we're talking to one of the city councilmen. It was me, my wife, this other guy, and the city councilman on the other side of the table. We're just chatting. And he's in my business too. He's probably my age, a little bit younger, and some freaking crusty old guy comes up and goes, hey, Bob Jones, what the hell his name was. I sent you a thing. I want to get the variance on my house. I haven't heard anything back from it. And I was like, dude, I'm sitting here talking to these guys about Veterans Day. Can we talk about this tomorrow? He goes, well, I just sent it to you. I hope I can hear something. I said, man. And the guy was just a clown. The guy, the idiot was like, I need to get my variance looked at. And the guy who's our city councilman said, I said, when he finally left, I said, how do you deal with that? He goes, man, I just, some of these guys, it's always like the same 10 people. I was like, man, I just tell them to pound sand. He goes, the problem is if you do that, they have big mouths that tell other people. Anyway, so this guy is no longer in city council. He said, I'm not running again. But actually, I worked on the planning commission and when I lived in Dayton, Virginia. And even that was political. It's like, because we want to put sidewalks in the roads, because we had a school, that was walking distance to our town. I mean, everyone could walk to school, which is fantastic. No sidewalks though. And you get these people like screaming bloody murder about wanting to put sidewalks in it. And you're like, dude, we're not going to put it on your land, you freaking idiot. We're going to put it on the side that's already public land. And they still say, no, I don't want little kids. Like, so you want to walk in the street? I'll never forget that. And then, but even worse, so even there, we had the town, not the mayor, the guy who's kind of in charge of the town. I'm drawing a blank with his name. His name was Rick. I can't remember. I remember Rick, but I can't remember the town. Wasn't mayor. Let's see if any of y'all know what that's called. Not mayor. Anyway, so the town guy. I forgot what it's called, but he was big in terms of getting stuff done in the town, and he wanted to put this development. So some of these Mennonite farmers had to sell their land because they didn't have any kids to. I mean, a lot of them had kids, obviously, but some did not have kids to turn the farm down to. And farming is a tough business, so they want to sell their land because they're getting old. They had no money, and the town whatever his name, commissioner is what city manager. That's it. That's right on. Commissioner, city manager. That's it. He had some inroads to some real estate guys, which is kind of ironic. And then so they pounded the town planning commission, trying to get this approval through. And frankly, I didn't want it to get it done. I didn't want it to be looked up at. I mean, to be built out. But I think private property is private property. You got a right to do what you want to do on your land. So I was approving of it, and but even that would piss a lot of people off. I was like, no, you should not let them do it on their land. I said, well, then buy their land out, man. Buy the land out. You can buy their land out, and we can't build on it. But these other guys are doing it legally, which they were, and they're doing it with the ordinance in terms of what we put in. You know what I'm saying? They have a right to do it. That's it. Because initially they wanted not affordable housing, but like very dense housing. And we're like, no, don't want dense housing. We want single family homes. Look up when you falsify. Well, you're calling me Joshua, first of all, so I don't know why you're calling me Joshua. Yeah, so we're now arguing this, are we? We're arguing the case. We're now arguing the case. Okay. And you think, oh, in that case, Trump's guilty. Dude, give me a freaking break, dude. First of all, no one calls me Joshua except my mom when she's pissed off at me. Once in a while, my wife will call me Joshua too, and she's also pissed off at me. If you really think I care two craps about what they found on Trump, I don't, because they didn't do anything for Hillary, Joe Biden, all these people, Bill Clinton, none of them. They didn't do anything with freaking the operation, whatever the hell is funneling guns to Mexico. They didn't do crap on any of that crap. So they're 24 Delta. If you think 2 seconds, like, oh, in that case, there's right to get Trump in a freaking fake trial in New York City, you're freaking full of crap, dude. Get the hell out of here, because you're insane. If you think, oh, in that case, it's a legit trial, after I know how, oh, wait, I thought the Democrats, I thought they wanted free and fair trial. Remember the Central Park 5? All of a sudden, we all forgot about that, don't we? There can never be a guy wrongly convicted in New York City. Never. Central Park 5. No, yeah. How quickly we forget, freaking clown. Pound sand, dude. Because that freaking right, Obama's right there. Obama's boy drowning. Exactly right, man. That guy right there. And that's the thing with the politics. It's going to happen regardless of what we think about it or not. That's what I think a lot of people don't get. It's going to happen one way or the other. Yeah, there's no, you just don't argue with these guys on this. It's so dumb. It's so dumb to argue with these people on this. You're never going to win. The jump, and you're never going to change their mind either, Jill. You're not. So what you do is you just ignore them. That's what you got to do. It was so stupid, man. And he's talking to this Joshua right here. It's all classified. Okay, so hey, even that. Okay, so Joshua. Anybody trying to justify the manipulation is what I'm saying. I completely agree. Anyone who tries to justify this is just, you're not going to win with these people. It's kind of like arguing the COVID stuff. At some point, you just got to take your wins and walk away. I mean, even the Bible talks about that. I forgot what thing. Was it Jesus who said? I think it was Jesus who said it. It was Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. Those are the 4 Gospels. So we know Matthew's the largest of the Gospels. Matthew. So Mark is basically a subset of Matthew. I think it must have been Matthew then, where Jesus says Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. I don't think it was Luke. But anyway, so Matthew, it must have been Matthew, where Jesus says, when you come to town, if they don't want to hear it, dust off your sandals and leave. That's what you got to do. It's because these people are so they're so hating on Trump. The idea that this is justice being served is so stupid. It's so stupid. You just got to laugh at these people. Or else you go into this thing. They will, Charles. My host. I mean, by the way, the Negro Leagues are now part of the. Get this guy out of here. I just think now this guy's come back and say it's amazing that people can't look up the actual facts. No, dude, Think about how insane it is They're going after Trump. And all the while, the same guy who says no one's above the law lets 10 million people in here illegally, and none of them go after them. In fact, when they're caught doing bad things on top of being here illegally, they get let out on top of that. Think about the insanity of that. No one's above the law, except if you're an illegal, if you're homeless, if you're gay, any of this stuff, then you're above the law. But no one else is above the law. I mean, no Republican. I mean, I shouldn't have said that. No one's above the law. As you have 10 million people illegal, they're not supposed to be here. They're breaking the law, coming over our borders, and no one's doing a damn thing. And when they're caught doing bad things in here, on top of being illegal, it seems like more often than not, they're just let out to go anyway. But no one's above the law. Is that right, Snippy Joe? That's why I would love a Republican prosecutor to say, I mean, oh, why would you move outside the U.S.? No, you don't move outside the U.S. No. You guys want to trace? Oh man, I'll trade California for Alberta. That's for sure. Oh, you don't move outside the U.S. This place is still where it's at, man. We'll get over this. No big deal. Can't wait for AI, Josh. Anyway, so I just find it funny. All these people are like, oh, Trump, you know, blah, blah, blah. You're like, we got 10 million people coming in here, and many of them, they can do whatever the hell they want. They can take airplanes that we pay for without even having an ID. Well, that's why I agree with you. I think 100%. I don't think they're coming after us per se. I think what they're saying is this is a shot across the bow to stay in line. That's 100%. It's not about Trump. It's what they. Oh, dude, I completely agree. I mean, I get what you guys are saying. What I'm saying is, I'm not going to sit there and freaking lose sleep over it because there's nothing you can do about it. It's going to happen. What's going to happen? So you're like, yeah, you say, all right, well, they want me to stay in line. I'm going to freaking stay in line. But I mean, there's not, what are you going to do? You're not going to, my whole beginning of this thing was to show you how insanity this is, that there's certain groups of people get away with stuff and certain groups of people don't. And if they're telling you that, explicitly telegraphing, this group of people, Republicans, don't get away with things the left does. So the Republicans should avoid doing these things because we don't get away with it. And it's just, and you can go down and fight that fight, but I don't think you should. I think what you should do is say, okay, I'm going to fight within, what I mean by that is I'm going to fight by living my best life. And my best life isn't to get so wrapped up in this I lose sleep over this because it doesn't make sense. It's not going to go, oh my God, the communists are coming. I just don't think so. It could, I get it, but I don't actually think the people in charge are commies. I don't. I think they're anti-commies a lot more actually than I think anyone would agree to. I think they're just fascist is what it is. Big government and big corporation dance with each other. And they, because remember, big corporations make a lot of money, and the big government people in charge get a lot of money from big corporations. What they like to do is stamp out small. They like to stamp out competition, and small businesses competition, small potato political operatives are competition, and they like to tell them, hey, don't tread too far. Kind of like, don't go down there to Antarctica to see what's on the other side, or we're going to shoot you down. Yeah, right there. There, Tom says. And whoever will not receive your words when you depart from that house or city, shake the dust off your feet. Matthew, Mark, and Luke. Okay, right on. Communism is next. That's true. That's true. Yep. Yep. Yeah, but you hear about the colonel from the. So this is what they're trying to do to get us to hate on the Russians, by the way. So there's some Chechens apparently who one got killed by a special forces guy in Fort Bragg, and that's what I think they're trying to do. So now we got the Chechens, i.e., Russians, are now spying on military places in the United States, That's what I think they're going to try to make the us to hate the Russians, as if we're not spying on the Russians over there right now ourselves. I think someone said we already have Ukraine. Americans already in Ukraine right now. I completely agree. But I think that's what it said. You got to worry about we could die. Yeah, but Jill, that's okay. So what are you? I mean, again, as I've always said to Jill, so what are you going to do? What are you going to do? My man said my man said he's going to run for school board. I think that's freaking fantastic. Don says donate. That's great. I don't think you should donate to Trump per se. I mean, again, if you want to, that's fine. But I think that the more power is in the local areas. Who does more to affect your life, the local people or the federal government? The local people. That's where the planning commissions are. I'm telling you, that's where all this stuff happens. Most of this stuff happens. Now, the federal government, yeah, I mean, it's not so much you can do about the federal government, though, but your local places are. That's where the whole COVID crap was, the locals. Your county health administration, your school district. I mean, that's where the stuff with forcing kids to be in vax, forcing kids to wear masks, that all came from the county. Trump didn't do that. Biden didn't do that. Yeah, oh, dude, total. Yeah, well, yeah, 100%, James. The wealthy love themselves some debt. That's why the Republicans not advancing some kind of tax stuff is insane to me. They're trying 100%, Harry. They're trying to create a false flag. Absolutely. They're like, ooh, we can get the Republicans to join us on our anti-Russian crusade. 100%. 17. I don't think it's, nah, I don't know what it, 17 check. I don't get what that is. Oh, yeah, right on, Peggy. What happened? I mean, not right on. You got harassed. What happened? Someone like sexually harassed you or something like that? That sucks, Peggy. They're starting to go after Elon Musk. Step out of line, and Americans will sit back and watch you. I 100%. That's what I mean. It's all people. It's not just Americans. It's all people. As long as it's not you, as long as it's not me, as long as it's that guy behind the tree, that's what they don't care. I mean, you saw what happened in COVID. This is the thing. We saw what happened in COVID. How what was Anomaly saying today? Yeah, that's what he's saying. He was saying Anomaly was saying all these MAGA guys going to DC on January 6th, they all wore their masks on the plane. You know what I'm saying? We don't know that for sure, but most likely they did. They could have had a bigger impact by saying we're not going to wear our masks on the plane. Let's say 10,000 MAGA guys went to DC to protest. If they all did not wear their mask on the plane, that would have it just COVID for me was everything, man. I saw what I thought was righteous Republican people just capitulate. They bowed down and they took it. And they did it because they said, we just got to get Trump over the finish line and it'll all be good. I said, this is more than Trump, man. That for me, that changed everything. I said, you guys suck. You guys suck. We just got to just capitulate, just comply now so we can get Trump over the finish line. No, that did it for me right there. I could not believe how many people capitulated. It was insane to me. And I think they did not because of Trump as much as they were scared. They were scared. A lot of people don't. They just allow the media to dictate their stories. And the same people hate the media. And this is what they say. Did you see this report? And the New York Times will write something negative. They'll say about Biden. Did you see this report? The New York Times are finally coming around. I said, oh my goodness. Why do we care what the New York Times says? Pro Biden and anti Biden. Why do we care? I thought we were over this. Did you see this report? The Washington Post or CNN? They're coming around. They're coming around. It's like, oh. Anyway, I think Mark Dice. If you're not watching him on YouTube, I watch him every day, and you should too. Mark Dice. He's that's my guy right there. So Mark Dice and Anomaly are my two guys on YouTube I watch every day. Mark Dice and Anomaly. Anomaly's a younger guy, not nearly as politically knowledgeable as Mark Dice. Mark Dice is fantastic. Anomaly has kind of jumped off the Trump train. He's on it like I am, kind of like he's going to vote for Trump because Biden is so bad. But anomaly like me after COVID, that really that put a cool wind on me for sure. It really did. Mark Dice is 100% full Trump guy, and it's cool. And I'm vote for Trump. I don't have any hesitation. Not mad about it. Not saying. I just think the COVID stuff changed my viewpoint about a lot of this stuff. It really did. I said, that's all it takes, huh? To get people scared to capitulate with the masks. Never mind to capitulate with the jabs. That's all it took. And then the reason I think is because, like Joshua was sitting there, they said they'll find glory that you swing, not them. And just people are afraid. They're afraid. That's okay. And that's what makes. All right, so we'll end this here tonight. But that's what makes the. So I was listening to this guy today. I think it was Charlie Kirk. And some metalhead said, "Why do you believe the book, the Bible?" And Charlie Kirk's answer was bad. It was really bad. He said, it wasn't very. I was surprised how lackadaisical it was, frankly. But he did say something that was smart, which I've always found for me is very uplifting. He didn't say it very well, and I thought for a guy, I think it was Charlie Kirk. I think it was Kirk. Anyway, I thought for a guy who's on his feet all the time I thought he should have done better. But he said, and this is right, he goes, at the end of the day, the people who saw Jesus' miracles turn on him in the direst times, the darkest hour. The people who saw the miracles that Jesus performed, Lazarus, all these things, they saw what he did and they still turned on him. And yet, 3 days later, not only did they not turn on him, they scoured the world to promote his glory. Isn't that crazy? And they took, bullets for it, essentially. You see what I'm saying? Knowing full well that they were going to get hounded and destroyed physically, and they did. Peter was hung upside down. It's just the list goes on and on. Yet 3 days before, I don't know who that guy is. Who's that guy? I don't know. So what happened? What happened? That's why I kind of feel like what happened during COVID. The people who said, no, dude, we're gonna fucking the deep state, rah. Oh, okay, I'll wear my mask. Just please leave me alone. Please leave me alone. I don't want to. No, don't get me. No one had the kahunas, man. No one did. And people who should have known better on our side, they fell hook, line, and sinker. A, they were scared. B, they bought the science because they're science. Because Republicans love to show how much they believe in the science. And C, they wanted to pull Trump over the line. And it's all for naught, dude. And the fact that happened worldwide so fast is a conspiracy. A conspiracy is just a gathering of minds plotting something. It doesn't mean it's got to be bad. When you got a football huddle, that's a conspiracy. It really is what a conspiracy is. And that wasn't a theory either. It was literally a conspiracy. These big, the tyrannical globalist elite took charge and they said, this is what we got to do. Because of Neil Ferguson, the IMHE, you see what I'm saying, and the Imperial College of London. And people just went along with it because I just don't know why. Because we've had it so good for so long. So good for so long. There's just I don't want this to ruin it. I don't want to, I got it good. I don't want to sacrifice anything. I can't sacrifice because, I got a family. I got a mortgage. I'm heavy in debt. And I'm scared of a virus. Crazy. Like, why? Well, because, don't you know it has a initial fatality rate in IFR of 10% or 20% or 30% even, which means 30% of the people who caught it are going to die. Anyway, so when you saw that, you recognized hook, line, and sinker that people we don't have what it takes, man. We don't. And so as we see that, we don't have what it takes. And then some of the leaders in other countries who did have what it takes were taken out, coincidentally, of course. Then you realize it's a big cabal. They got some authority that you'll never have. And as such, again, as I said many times, the end of Big Brother, what did 1984 say? Who wants to say what happened at the end of 1984? 100%. COVID got me out of. Kirk you say my boy Kirk is a paid stooge? I hope you're not talking about Kirk Royce. Because Kirk Royce isn't a paid stooge. Kirk Royce, my man. What did What did George Orwell say at the very end of 1984? Is actually the who's the guy? The main character. I forgot his name. Was it Henry? I don't think it's Henry. What did he say at the very end of 1984? Yeah, Jill makes a good point. I believe a lot of people have learned since COVID, as did Peter, to not allow. Who's saying, Jill? Who says not allow for conversion? Who's saying that? No one's saying not allow for conversion. You make a good point, but then you kind of ruined it with that last part. No one is saying you can't allow for people to get back in. I'm a stooge. But you want to lay low and do what you. Yeah, I do. I'm sorry. So yeah, they're going to tell me to do this. I'm doing it 100%. What am I going to do? Go down and protest? What did happen at the end of 1984? I did wear a mask, son. 100%. I did. Absolutely. Yep. 100%. And we did do some protesting, as a matter of fact. In fact, I almost got my YouTube channel banned for protesting our school superintendent. It was fun for mask mandates in the Fulton County. It was a good time. Met a lot of good people. Met a lady from Cuba. Pulverizer is the epitome of a troll, 100%. Anyway, so the end of 1984, he said, I love Big Brother. That's what he said. What the hell's the guy's name? I'm drawing the guy's blank, the main guy. I love Big Brother. That's what he said. And at the end of the day, are you going to love Big Brother or not? I don't know, but you're going to fight Big Brother, and you can't win. In terms of, I'm going to watch the news, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. It's going to work out the way it's going to work out. Nothing can do. Winston, that's what it was, Winston. And for me, that's very liberating. It's all right, this is beyond my ability to control. And again, as we go back to serenity prayer, grant me the strength to accept the things I cannot control. I can't control this. And I frankly don't like getting mad, so I'm not going to watch the news. It makes me happier. I recognize that at the end of the day, the people in charge have a whole lot more authority to do this than I do. I do 100%, Kirk. It boggles my mind. It's weird to me. And then, and as such, I think we are run by people who are that on a Supertramp album. What's on a Supertramp album? My church has service with no mask and service with mask just to please everyone. Yeah, I got no problem with that. Josh's motto, ignorance is bliss. Hey, 100%, man. Ignorance, right on. So you are loving Big Brother now. Why do you have control at all or not? No, but I have control over me. That's the issue. Jill, I got control over me. That's the whole point. This is the whole point. I control me. And for me, getting worked up on this doesn't make me feel good. And I like to feel good. And so I say to myself, okay, this is stupid. Absolutely a case we found in the Twilight Zone. And as such, I'm like, I control the way I respond to various things around my world. My world here in the little Josh corner of the world is pretty doggone good. It really is. I hope Trump wins. I don't think he's going to jail. But at the end of the day, this is crazy. Is that I'm not going to let these fools control my thoughts. I'm not going to let these fools control my emotions. I'm not going to let these fools control the fact I have butterfly bush flying out there and the butterflies are out there smelling good. I love it. You see what I'm saying? And again, I don't think these things are mutually exclusive. I think you can enjoy that as well as being involved in politics. I can't. It's like drinking. I know for a fact if I drank a beer, I could not stop. I know that. I know for a fact, having been born and raised in a very politically astute family, that politics makes me angry. I said, I don't want to be involved in it. I don't want to be involved in watching politics because it gets me mad. When they can they can do whatever they want. And as such, you're like, And so that doesn't mean I'm still going to vote, but I'm not going to canvass or anything like that. I'm not going to do that. Just not. But people can. More power to you. People can donate, more power to them too. People should vote. I think it's a responsibility to vote, whether it counts or not, whatever. But for me personally, I'm still, I still want Trump to win, but I'm just not going to let this think like Peggy did there, like the communism is coming. I mean, because you can think that way. And now I was listening to this other guy. Oh, there's going to be World War III's coming because Putin, not what he said. He said Putin, what did he say? With Biden allowing Ukraine to attack Putin, with Biden allowing Ukraine to attack Putin with American stuff, this guy's like, now, like, oh my God, World War III's coming. Okay. He's like, I don't want to say he's freaking out, but he's, all these people are nervous about it. I'm like, okay, you can be for sure. Kind of like people say, I can't go to Atlanta because I'll get jacked up. You're like, how many people actually do? Nah, I'm not gonna do that. My volunteering days for politics are over. Dude, you guys don't understand how much time and energy I put into politics. I mean, you guys don't understand. I mean, dude, from 1992 through 2004, I was an activist, big time in the Republican Party, big time. Alexander, Virginia. Kyle McSlare was our congressional candidate against Jim Moran in District 8. It was the 8th congressional district. Yeah, I was activist for him, big time. All volunteered. I got paid a little bit of money in the Arizona Republican Party to fundraise. I was on the phones all day long, well, not all day, in Phoenix, Arizona, calling, for raising money. Canvass for John Kyle, canvass for, what's his name? Jeff Flake. I think I even canvassed for McCain for the 4 years we were out there. I worked for the Arizona Mine Inspector, his campaign. He was my boss, as a matter of fact. I worked for 6 months for him. He was a political guy. He had to run for election. Then we went to Virginia. I got the chairman of the Rockingham County Republican Party put me in charge of the database for all the voters and whatnot. I had access to all the voters. There's addresses, the calls to make sure we're calling them to vote and all that stuff. I've been very, very active. Then we moved to Arizona, Texas in 2008. I started getting out of it a little bit just because I was a new place. I think after that I started 2012. I gave some money to Cruz. I was 14. I gave like $250 to Ted Cruz. I think I gave some money to Romney too, if memory serves. I think I was active when we lived in New Jersey. I think I was active a little bit in the Camden County Republican Party, but not much because we didn't have a chance. I pretty much agree with that too, Kirk. I don't think God really cares that much about the politics. To the political thing in the 80s and 90s, as I converted to aiding the gospel mission in my retirement. Yeah, right on, man. That's people got to do what they got to do. Look, this is not bashing Jill. I mean, people do whatever they want to do. I don't care. It's fine. I mean, someone's got to fight the fight. I'm just not going to do it. Not the way that some people think. I'm going to fight the fight in terms of my own personal jihad, if you will. And I know there are some things that make me not a good person, and politics is one of them. I really do. Now, with that said, I'm not going to see. It's not going to be all that ignorance is bliss. Like, oh man, I don't know. I'm not going to watch anything. I'm going to see what's going on. My wife's got the news on, just like I said. All right. Winston learned to love Big Brother. Exactly. That's what I said, Penelope. Winston learned to love Big Brother. Exactly. We all love Big Brother now, or something like that. And I'm not saying I love Big Brother, but I'm saying at the end of the day, sometimes you throw your card and say, I can't beat him. If you can't beat him, I'm not going to get worked up about it. All right. I guess I'm going to get out of here. And I don't think, people can do whatever they want to do, but I see these liberal, insane people on there and they're gloating, and it makes me angry. I do. It makes me mad. And I don't want to be one of those guys who gets mad by people on YouTube or people on the internet. I just don't. It doesn't make me feel good. And so I'm like, whatever. You guys be you. Hopefully it works out for you. It never does. I still have my firearms. I still, you know what I'm saying? I still have my preps just in case. I still have my 1500 watt inverter, Tom, if he's still there. with my battery banks, and my full tanks of gas to keep the lights on. Josh apparently only responds. Why, Carl? Why do you throw these passive aggressive things on in there? I only respond to mods. So, right, this guy mod there, Carl. This guy mod. This guy mod. Oh boy. Carl always likes to be passively aggressive. I only respond to mods. He goes hive mind. Oh, Carl, you're so silly. I agree. I have my lead. Go back. Go back to what? To everything you said on here? Well, I don't get it. All right. Josh, lesson 1, don't talk about Fight Club. Lesson 2, don't fight the feds or women today. Fight against your local constituent or women who are unhinged. Why would I don't get it. Why would I want to fight against my local constituent? I don't understand. Don't fight the feds. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Deep cycle batteries, but I have deep cycle batteries, but the ones in my car that it runs the engine aren't deep cycle batteries. That's what I was trying to tell you the other night, Tom. When you said 59 amp hours. 59 amp hours if they're not being generated by the alternator. So the engine is on, the alternator is kicking the electricity to it. So the volts are 14. But yes, if you have a down where you can't run the engine, the deep cell battery is the way to go. Absolutely. All right, my friends, God bless. We'll see you guys. Hang in there. It's all going to work out along. Let's take quick breaks. Heavenly Father, in this time of chaos and uncertainty, just please give us the strength to recognize you are in charge. Whatever happens is because of you, without question. You are in charge. We're here to do your bidding, to glorify you in all we do. Please just allow us to see the peace that you offer through of sending your son Jesus to us to die on a cross, to be resurrected because of you, and to show us the way that we can be with you in eternity. We just pray, Heavenly Father, to people not to get too ramped up on this stuff because it's outside of our control. Let us only control the things, worry about things we can control. And what we can control is how much we love your creation and glorify you. We pray these things in Jesus' name. Amen. That's God bless everyone. 100%, man. We'll see you guys. God bless.